Confidence is not built overnight, and it's not lost in one moment either. It fades quietly, slowly, through subtle mistakes you don't even realize you're making. These mistakes eat away at your strength from the inside until one day you no longer recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. You wonder why you doubt yourself, why you hesitate, why you shrink in moments where you once stood tall. The truth is simple. Confidence isn't stolen, it's surrendered, little by little, through silent mistakes. The first mistake that destroys confidence is comparing yourself constantly to others. You scroll through social media and see someone with more money, more success, or more beauty, and suddenly what you have feels small. Comparison is poison because it blinds you to your own progress. It shifts your attention from what you're building to what others already have. And every time you compare, you quietly tell yourself, "I'm not enough." Confidence dies in that space. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Another silent mistake is perfectionism. On the surface, perfectionism looks like ambition. You tell yourself you're aiming high. But in truth, perfectionism is fear wearing a mask. It makes you wait until conditions are perfect, until you feel ready, until you can guarantee no mistakes. And in that waiting, you take no action. Nothing destroys confidence faster than stagnation. Action builds confidence, not perfection. Perfectionism convinces you to wait while the world moves on without you. The next mistake that silently kills confidence is negative self-talk. The words you speak to yourself are the foundation of your identity. When you constantly whisper, "I can't, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough," your mind believes it. You may smile in public, but inside, you are rehearsing failure. And the more you repeat it, the deeper it carves into your confidence. Confidence doesn't grow from external validation. It grows from the voice inside that says, "I will try. I will improve. I will not give up." If your inner voice is your enemy, no amount of praise from the outside can save you. Another mistake that eats away at your confidence is avoiding discomfort. Every time you run from challenge, every time you choose the easy path, you rob yourself of growth. Comfort feels safe in the moment, but it leaves you weaker over time. Growth is forged in difficulty. Confidence is born when you face the things that scare you and realize you survived. Avoiding discomfort silently teaches your brain, "I can't handle struggle," and eventually that belief becomes who you are. A subtle but deadly mistake is surrounding yourself with people who belittle you. Maybe it's friends who joke at your expense. Maybe it's family members who only point out your flaws. Maybe it's colleagues who downplay your achievements. You tell yourself it's harmless, but deep down, their words sink in. Confidence cannot thrive in toxic soil. If you allow people to constantly diminish you, you'll start shrinking to fit their version of you. To protect your confidence, you must protect your environment. Another mistake that destroys confidence is procrastination, not because of the tasks left undone, but because of what it does to your self-image. Every time you delay something important, you quietly tell yourself, "I can't handle this." And that belief chips away at your identity. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you follow through even when it's hard. Every act of procrastination is a silent act of self-betrayal. And self-betrayal is confidence's greatest enemy. Another subtle mistake is relying too much on external validation. When your worth depends on likes, compliments, or applause, your confidence is fragile. The moment validation disappears, you collapse. True confidence is quiet, steady, unshaken by whether others cheer or criticize. It comes from knowing your value regardless of who notices. If you always need others to approve, you'll never feel secure in your own skin. Confidence also dies when you dwell too much on past failures. Mistakes are meant to be lessons, not prisons. But when you replay them over and over, you chain yourself to them. You begin to identify with failure instead of growth. And eventually, you stop trying because you've convinced yourself you'll only repeat the past. The truth is, confidence doesn't come from never failing. It comes from knowing failure cannot break you. Another mistake that erodes confidence is neglecting your body. The way you treat your physical health directly impacts your mental state. Poor sleep, no exercise, unhealthy food, these things don't just affect your body, they weaken your self-image. Confidence grows when you respect yourself enough to care for your health. When you feel strong physically, your mind follows. But when you neglect it, you silently teach yourself, "I don't deserve better." Another subtle destroyer of confidence is over-apologizing. Of course, genuine mistakes deserve genuine apologies, but when every sentence begins with "sorry," you're shrinking yourself unnecessarily. Over-apologizing communicates guilt even where none exists. It makes you appear smaller in the eyes of others, and in your own eyes too. Confidence is not arrogance, it's knowing when to stand firm and when to take responsibility. Learn to apologize for real harm, not for your existence. Confidence is also lost when you avoid making decisions. Indecision may feel safe. You can't be wrong if you don't choose. But in reality, indecision is surrender. It teaches you to distrust your own judgment. And every time you hesitate, you reinforce the belief that you're incapable. Confidence is built through action, even imperfect action. Decisions are the weightlifting of confidence. The more you make, the stronger you get. Another mistake is failing to keep promises to yourself. You say you'll wake up early, but you don't. You say you'll start the project, but you never do. Every broken promise might seem small, but over time, it destroys your self-trust. And without self-trust, confidence cannot exist. When you keep promises to yourself, even tiny ones, you rebuild your confidence brick by brick. Finally, the greatest silent mistake that destroys confidence is waiting for the right time. You keep telling yourself, you'll start when you're ready, when you have more money, when life is easier. But the right time never comes. And while you wait, your confidence shrinks because action never begins. Confidence is not the result of preparation. It's the result of showing up anyway. Here's the truth. Confidence isn't about never being afraid. It's about not letting fear make your choices. It's not about being perfect. It's about being willing. The silent mistakes that destroy confidence are not dramatic. They're quiet, daily choices that go unnoticed until it's too late. But here's the good news. The same way these habits destroy confidence, new habits can rebuild it. Stop comparing. Stop waiting. Stop shrinking. Instead, act, grow, decide, and honor the promises you make to yourself. Because confidence isn't found, it's built. And every moment you choose action over fear, growth over comfort, and truth over self-doubt, you're building a version of yourself that cannot be broken.